If you want to know evidence-based practice to take your husband home after 4 months in ICU on a ventilator with a tracheostomy, stay tuned. I've got news for you. My name is Patrick Hudson, intensivecareathome.com. And I have an email today from Rosalie who says, "Hi, Patrick. My husband has been in ICU for 4 months. They now wanting to send him home, totally paralyzed and with a stomach tube, Foley catheter colostomy, flap surgery, and requires turning every 3 hours a day. And he's in a wheelchair, and his weight needs to be shifted every 30 minutes. I'm 69, he's 73. He's around 110 kilos dead weight, 6 feet tall, and they think I can care for him. Some ventilation weaning, C4 and C5 spinal cord injury. I need help. Can intensive care at home help?" Well, Rosalie, I'm very sorry to hear what you and your husband are going through, right? Of course, intensive care at home is the right place to send your husband to if he wants to go home or if the ICU wants to send him home. You know, it's actually a smart move to send him home, but definitely not without critical care nurses 24 hours a day, which is where intensive care at home comes in. You know, if he's on a ventilator, if he's on a tracheostomy, if he has a Foley catheter, if he has a PEG tube, he needs turning every 3 hours because of pressure area care. He's a C4 and C5 spinal cord injury, of course. He needs intensive care nurses and critical care nurses 24 hours a day at home, right? And that's where intensive care at home comes in. Not only is it evidence-based, so if you look at our mechanical home ventilation guidelines, which are evidence-based and best practice, he needs 24-hour nursing care at home with critical care nurses 24 hours a day, who can give him the care he wants, needs, and deserves in a routine that works for you and for your husband, right? With all of the issues that you're describing, you know, his paralysis on a ventilator, tracheostomy, he's got a PEG tube, he's got a Foley catheter, colostomy, he had flap surgery, you know, he's fully dependent on other people. And with a ventilator and a tracheostomy, that automatically makes him a critical care patient, because if it wasn't for him going home with intensive care at home, he would be stuck in ICU, which is what's happening now, you know. And it's actually sad that it took 4 months for, you know, for him to go home. But now it looks like the time has come, you know. Let's set up, you know, first of all, the funding, of course, but keep in mind, you know, someone is paying bed, and with intensive care at home, that cost can be reduced to about 50% of the cost. But that's not even the main point. The main point is to improve your husband's quality of life and, you know, your quality of life, of course, because you've been living in ICU for the last 4 months, you know. And at home, he needs a stable team, which we can obviously create for you and for your husband. He needs people that you know, like, and trust, and your husband knows, likes, and trusts, of course. Furthermore, you know, we need to organize all the equipment, like a home care ventilator, suction machines, monitors, you know, probably needs a hospital bed. Sounds like he's got a wheelchair. He probably needs a lifting machine, a hoist, you know. All these things need to be put in place. But once that's put in place, your husband should go home as quickly as possible and improve his quality of life at home, improve your quality of life at home, so that you can stay, that he can stay at home predictably, which is also what the ICU wants. You know, but if they send him home without critical care nurses 24 hours a day, that's not only negligent, it also means it's like a boomerang coming back. He'll be coming back into the ICU. It's similar to your husband's situation, Rosalie. You know, we have helped many other clients in similar situations, basic care into the home instead of we can do this at home. So with intensive care at home, we're currently sending our critical care nurses into the home 24 hours a day. Therefore, we are providing a genuine alternative to a long-term stay in intensive care for ventilation, tracheostomy, home BiPAP, home CPAP, ventilation without tracheostomy, but also for adults and children with tracheostomy and without ventilation. home TPN, home IV potassium infusions, home IV magnesium infusions, IV fluids, and IV antibiotics. We're also providing ventilation weaning at home. We're also providing central line management, peak line management, Hickman's line management, as well as port management at home. We're also providing nasogastric tube and PEG tube management at home, as well as palliative care services at home. We're also sending our critical care nurses into the home for emergency department bypass services. We have done so successfully as part of the Western Sydney Local Area Health District, the In Touch program, saving approximately $2,000 per patient that we keep at home instead of them going into the emergency department. Therefore, we're also in the position to cut the cost of an intensive care bed by around 50%. An intensive care bed costs around $5,000 to $6,000 per bed day. Our service costs between $2,500 to $3,000 per day. We're freeing up the most sought after bed in a hospital, which is the ICU bed. But most importantly, we're improving the quality of life for patients and their families, which is a win-win situation for all stakeholders. With intensive care at home, we're currently operating all around Australia, in all major capital cities, as well as in all regional and rural areas. We are NDIS approved all around Australia, TAC and WorkSafe in Victoria, iCare in New South Wales, NIISQ in Queensland, as well as the Department of Veteran Affairs all around Australia. Our clients and we as a provider have also received funding through public hospitals, private health funds, as well as departments of health. We are currently the only service provider in Australia that has achieved third-party accreditation for intensive care at home nursing in 2025, and we have been achieving this level of accreditation since 2012. No other provider has achieved this level of accreditation in the community and has created more intellectual property when it comes to intensive care at home nursing than we have. This puts us in a position to employ hundreds of years of critical care nursing experience combined in the community. No other service provider in 2025 employs a higher skill level in the community than we do, which enables us to look after the highest acuity adults and children in the community in Australia safely. And if you're at home already and you're watching this and you realize you don't have the right level of support, or if you're stuck in an ICU long term, or if your family member is stuck in an ICU long term, I'll give you a real world example today. One of our first clients about 10 years ago when we first got started was a client who was at home initially on a ventilator with a tracheostomy with a support worker model 24/7. Of course, it's dangerous and negligent having support workers looking after a client at home on a ventilator with a tracheostomy. That is like flying the airplane with a cabin crew instead of the pilot. Because anyone on a ventilator with a tracheostomy is at very high risk of medical emergencies or even dying if they don't have a team of critical care nurses looking after them 24/7. This is actually evidence-based that in the community, it's documented in our mechanical home ventilation guidelines that you can find on our website at intensivecarehome.com, where it's clearly documented that only and exclusively critical care nurses with a minimum of 2 years critical care nursing experience can look after ventilation tracheostomy at home safely. Think about it, in an intensive care unit in an ICU in a hospital, you wouldn't have support workers looking after a critical care patient on a ventilator with a tracheostomy. So why would anyone in their right mind do that in a home care environment in the community? People have died because of this support worker model. So eventually this client found out about us, the ICU that he was going back to found out about us, and we were proving our concept with this client very fast. When we worked with the client, we sent him intensive care nurses 24 hours a day, and he never ever went back into ICU ever again. And we were proving our concept there very fast. We can do the same for you if you're not safe at home, which includes the advocacy for funding that goes along with it. We have always successfully advocated for our clients, otherwise we would not be in business. The same is applicable for those stuck in an ICU, similar to our case study. To what you're looking for, reach out to us, we'll make it happen for you as well. We can take you through the right steps. And that is also why we're providing level 2 and level 3 NDIS support coordination. We have a team of NDIS support coordinators and they have a wealth of knowledge. I've done an interview with Amanda Riches, one of our NDIS support coordinators. I'll put a link to an interview with Amanda in the written version of this blog below the video. We're also providing TAC case management and WorkSafe case management in Victoria with Lucy McCodder. And if you're an NDI support coordinator or a case manager from another organization watching this, and you're looking for nursing care for your participants, please reach out to us as well. If you're looking for funding for nursing care for your participants and you don't know how to go about it and what evidence to provide, I encourage you to reach out to us as well. We will help you with the right level of funding and with the right level of advocacy. We're also providing NDI specialist nursing assessments done by critical care nurses with a legal nurse consulting background. If you're a critical care nurse and you're looking for a career change and you want to join a very progressive, dynamic, and high-performing team of critical care nurses in the community, we're employing hundreds of years of critical care nursing experience combined. If you're looking for a career change, we're currently hiring for jobs for critical care nurses in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, in Albury, Wodonga, in Bendigo, in Geelong, and in Warragul in Victoria. If you have worked in critical care nursing for a minimum of 2 years pediatric ICU ED, and you have already completed a postgraduate critical care nursing qualification, we will be delighted hearing from you. I have a disclaimer because we are offering a tailor-made solution for our clients, which includes regular staff. Our clients do want the same staff coming over and over again because they're very vulnerable and very special. That's why we need regular staff. So if you're looking for agency work where you can come and go, this will not be the right fit for you. We're looking for consistency and our clients are looking for consistency. So please only apply with us if you can give us regular and consistent availabilities for shifts. And if you're really keen on building relationships with us and with our clients. And if you're an intensive care specialist or an ED specialist, we also want to hear from you. We're currently expanding our medical team as well. We can help you eliminate your bed blocks in ICU and ED for your long-term patients or for your regularly readmitting patients with our critical care nursing team at home. We're here to help you take the pressure off your ICU and ED beds, and in most cases, you won't even pay for it. Even if you do pay for it, it is much more cost-effective than what you're paying in ICU and ED for, and you get the same level of care and you're freeing up your beds. And if you're a hospital executive watching this and you have bed blocks in your ICU, ED, and respiratory wards, home TPN, of course, please reach out to us as well. We can help you eliminate your bed blocks very fast. If you're in the US or in the UK and you're watching this and you need help, we want to hear from you as well. We can help you there privately with one-on-one consulting and with hiring nurses privately. Once again, our website is intensivecareathome.com. Call us on one of the numbers on the top of our website or simply send us an email to info@intensivecareathome.com. And if you like my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel for regular updates for families with intensive care at home and intensive care. Click the like button, click the notification bell, share this video with your friends and families, and comment below what you want to see next or what questions and insights you have from this video. Thank you so much for watching. This is Patrick Hutzel from intensivecareathome.com, and I will talk to you in a few days. Take care for now.